Everybody, can't you see there's a war going on? Why are we fighting each other? What's the reason? I don't know.
Good morning, Malcolm.
Good morning, VanDella.
Yay! I'm so glad to be here. I have missed doing our show.
Well, I have as well. So, what have you been up to?
Staying home.
Well,
Staying out of the way. Well, we've been out a couple of times trying to prepare for our upcoming shows. We have some great shows that's going to be lined up for you guys.
I'm telling you, you're definitely not going to want to miss it.
No. And, you know, I've been thinking about all of the things that have been going on, but out of every thing that's bad, you always find something good.
There's lots of good things happening.
There's lots of good things happening. And one of the good things that's happening is that we have such wonderful guests today.
We sure do.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I can't wait to actually introduce him. But before we get to that, for those of you who are in Grand Prairie, if you want current information on COVID-19, please visit www.gptx.org/COVID-19. If you're a Grand Prairie citizen, did you know that you can get free testing if you're a citizen, work in Grand Prairie, or have a business in Grand Prairie?
And also pre-existing conditions.
Yes, I forgot about that.
All
So
right.
if you need a free test, visit www.gptx.org/COVID-19.
Speaking of COVID, we have our masks with us.
Yes, we do.
We do. And we're social distancing.
Yes,
How
we
about that?
are.
So we're doing both.
We're doing both today.
So let's get to our quote of the day.
Yes, I'm excited about this. You want to go ahead and read it?
Sure. It is time for parents to teach young people early on that in diversity there is beauty and there is strength. And that is Maya Angelou.
Yes. You know, I'm not trying to brag, but someone once told me, I guess when my hair was different, that I kind of looked like her. And I was like, wow, that's an honor.
That is an honor.
I guess I need to gray a little bit more. But as I get older, I'm hoping that I will be molded in her image.
That's right. And I believe it really does start in the home.
It does.
It's a matter of the heart.
Yes, it is. And when we're talking about our children, when we teach our children about diversity, it's like planting seeds. And when you plant those seeds grow. And they continue to blossom, and we're creating little bits of diversity in everyone as they continue to grow.
Absolutely. And now we're going to introduce Mayor Ron Jensen.
Yes.
Hey, I'm Mayor Ron Jensen. Today you're going to hear from our new inclusion officer, Gerald Hodges. So you may say, what's an inclusion officer? And is it just for blacks? Because he's a black officer. An inclusion officer is someone that's going to try to make everybody in this city feel included. White, black, Asian, Hispanic, anybody. We want you to feel like you're part of the city. We want you to reach out to him and give him on ideas of how that may work better. But that's what this is all about. We don't want you to view the government as the big government. We're here to help you. We're here to serve. We're here to answer your questions. We want you to understand what we do, and we want you to get to know our public officers, our fire department, our people in the city, and Gerald's going to help us do that. Let's welcome him.
You are watching the Malcom and VanDella show. Thank you so much, Mayor, for that wonderful introduction. I can't wait until we actually interview our next guest. But before we do that, Malcolm, don't we have someone we'd like to acknowledge?
We sure do. Hey, we want to thank our new sponsor, thecampmedia, for doing the video and production of our show. You can visit thecampmedia at thecampmedia.com.
Yes, I'm excited that we now have a sponsor.
Very excited. And if you need any video for your event or for your business, go to thecampmedia.com.
Yes, we highly recommend them. Well, we have our wonderful guest today, Mr. Gerald Hodges.
Many of y'all might know this guy, right? He's been about our community for a long time.
Yes, he has.
He's done a lot of amazing things. So let's introduce our inclusion coordinator, Mr. Gerald Hodges.
Yay!
Thank you.
What an honor. Mr. Hodges, let's start with your story. We'd love to hear more about your background and what led you to be in the position that you're currently in as the city's inclusive coordinator. Or is it inclusion coordinator?
Inclusion coordinator.
Inclusion
That's right.
coordinator. Yes, inclusion coordinator.
Yes.
Go ahead, tell
Well,
us.
first of all, thanks for having me. I've known Malcom and VanDella some years now.
Yes.
So it's good
Yes.
to see this show. It's very awesome. This story, it's really been a passion of mine to work in the community for over 20 years. And
Wow.
even when I started at Texas A&M, I worked in the Multicultural Center, worked there and volunteered. I was even on the student panel that helped to improve student services there. And from there, I went on to do drug prevention support groups from South Oak Cliff all the way to Highland Park. After there, I wanted to spend more time with families and to have a greater impact. And so I went into education, where I worked with at-risk youth. At South Oak Cliff, I remember sitting at a table and negotiating the truce between rival gangs so that they can further their education. They were causing some problems on my campus. And then God bless my wife Demetrius, because I left education where you have every holiday known to man, and I went into law enforcement. And so now Christmas was maybe, Thanksgiving was maybe, you know. But it was in that position of being a police officer, I really learned the importance of engaging our community and really get to know our citizens. So that position, particularly being a school resource officer,
Right.
where I get to meet your wonderful kids,
Absolutely.
was just a beautiful program, and it's really been a passion of mine. And so I always tell people purpose. People always say, well, what is your purpose?
Mhm.
I always describe purpose. What is it that burdens you? What is it that preoccupies your thoughts and your prayers? And this community has always been on my mind on how can I improve it, praying for the people who serve it and the people that we serve. And so I came up with some community initiatives, and I approached Steve Dye. And I can honestly say you're hard-pressed to find anyone who doesn't champion inclusion
Yes.
as much as he does. And when I came to him with some of the initiatives that I wanted to put forth, he then had a vision as well to broaden the success we had in community policing and take that out into the community. And so that partnership and that collaboration, as well as the support, as you saw from the mayor and the city council, has led me to the position I'm at now.
Yes, most people say, I don't even remember who quoted this, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
Absolutely.
And so the city of Grand Prairie has been like the leaders in so many initiatives in our community, and that's one of the reasons that we love our city, and that's what prompted our Malcom and VanDella show, because of all the, wait, I need to pick up my mask, because of all of the positive things that our city and our leaders do for everyone in our community.
I tell you what, I have been up here and I've lifted up all the rocks and nothing has slithered out. I mean, these people are as genuine as you see them.
Yes, they are.
So
Yes, they are.
the proactive approach of this city, I really honestly believe, with our diverse community and with the leadership that we have, this will be a flagship city.
Oh, absolutely.
I just definitely believe that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, so switching gears for a second, I know that you serve on lots of different boards in addition to the work that you do for the city. Tell us a little bit about some of the organizations you serve on. I believe that the TD Foundation is one that comes to mind, just of the many that I know about.
Well, thank you for mentioning that. I think that's the great thing, is the love and that city employees have. Because the TD Foundation was founded by Keisha Guy. She was an officer, started doing community work in the community, and took that and just expanded it to basketball camps, to having feeding hot plate lunches in the community of Dalworth. And so now the TD Foundation is now continuing to expand and really try to serve and mentor kids, and so many willing bodies in this city that want to see a success. And then as well as I'm on the board for the YMCA, with Susanna Delgado.
Yes, she's
High-spirited.
amazing. Yes, she is. She's truly
High-spirited.
amazing.
Great.
Hello, Susanna.
Yes, hello, Susanna. If you're watching, absolutely. And just a wonderful board of individuals. And just recently now, I'm on the board with Lifeline.
Oh, wow.
Working to help kids who are in transition. So it's exciting, and really what excites me is to be able to work with people that not only love what they do in the community, but have enthusiasm to do it.
Right, and if you're watching, as Gerald just brought up Lifeline, Lifeline is an organization that helps people who have children in Grand Prairie ISD and might be experiencing homelessness. So they help with providing that family a place to stay until they find a more stable environment. So.
Wow. So, what do you think our community looks like when we're talking about inclusion, and what does it look like to you?
Well, I love what the mayor said. Inclusion is not limited to culture. It's really inclusion, the diversity of thoughts, the diversity of just the way that we address things. I think that inclusion shouldn't be minimized to culture, and nor should inclusion be minimized to, I don't want to offend anybody. We're raising for a higher standard, and particularly here in Grand Prairie, our standard is who can we uplift and inspire? That's low level for us to say, well, I don't want to offend anybody, and it's a burden for people. I think that when you come with the mindset of who can I uplift, who can I inspire,
Yes.
that is far-reaching and far more impactful when you go to your community. And so when we do that, we begin to value other people in the community. Raising the way that we value each other is going to raise naturally the value of Grand Prairie.
Yes.
And the benefit of that, even now, if you notice companies are now trying to appeal to diverse dollar because they know the value of that.
Yes.
We are already ahead of the game because we're a very diverse community, and we have diverse people who are all giving their ideals. One of the quotes I often reference people to is, you had Captain Smith of the Titanic, and he said that not even God himself can sink the Titanic. Well, of course we know he's wrong. History has proved him wrong. But when you bring a diversity of ideals and thought into other problems, now you're bringing additional tools and additional things that can help because your background is different from mine. So what may inspire you to a solution may be different from me, and vice versa from what VanDella may bring. So having diversity now allows you to bring additional tools to the problem. And I think the inclusive community is one that celebrates that and appreciates that and then takes it further, even to the next level.
All right, and I think our city, like you're stating, does an excellent job with diversity as a whole, right?
Yes.
You can see that by walking into your local grocery store
Yes.
and seeing the pleasantries from folks where
Yes.
you get to see them close up and everybody is, excuse me, oh, I'll get that door for you. Oh, let me get that cart for you.
Yes.
Everybody's just very friendly.
Or I'll take that card. For
Right,
you.
I'll take that cart for you. So I think as a city, all you have to do is go to your local grocery store. Now, sometimes it might depend on the store you're in, and the hustle and bustle of everyday life. But I think overall our city does a good job.
Yes.
Yes. Now, we're not saying we're perfect.
No,
That's right.
we're
Absolutely.
not.
Definitely
But
not.
we're constantly improving
Yes.
and
Right.
seeking that improvement.
There's
Yes.
always room for growth.
Yes, you are listening to the Malcom and VanDella show. We have our wonderful guest, Mr. Gerald Hodges, who is the City of Grand Prairie Inclusion Coordinator. Was that correct?
Yes.
All right.
Perfect.
all right.
That is. So, Jared, I have a question. So, we're talking about inclusivity and inclusion, right? So, how do we get to inclusion within our community, and what challenges do we face, if any?
Well, I think number one, how we build inclusion is one. Inclusion used to be minimized to just parading diversity. Parading diversity around to say, here we do have people. But it doesn't necessarily make them feel included. When you begin to look at companies and corporations and even government bodies, what really shows really movement of equity is in your recruitment, your hiring, your promotion, and also the input that they're allowed to give. So we have tailored programs to do that. And really, inclusion, in a nutshell, is a 3-syllable word for a 4-letter word, love. And so when you begin to show the citizens and they begin to feel love, and we designed programs to show how much that we care for our citizens and our employees, then when people feel valued, they give you the utmost value of their work. So that's really huge. The challenges we're facing right now is like everybody is COVID. COVID is a huge challenge.
Yes.
So it's kind of hampering us being able to get out there in the timelines that we like to get out there. But it is giving us time to maybe rehash and look over our ideas and kind of generate and kind of see what we can do better on those. So we're kind of working on those particular programs so that when we do roll them out, they'll be to the standard of Grand Prairie.
All right, it's kind of hard to get out, to get to know your neighbors
Yes.
when we're battling this pandemic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like we're practicing social distancing
Exactly.
now. Yes.
Exactly.
And we still have our masks.
Yes,
just
we
in
do.
case. So yeah.
Yes.
So Malcolm, I think, Mr. Hodges, tell us about the programs that are coming up.
Absolutely.
When I was talking to Malcolm about having you as our guest, I didn't realize the number of programs that this program will actually offer.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. The programs that we're offering, we're taking 2 approaches to this. The internal initiatives, so that we can deal with ourselves, the City of Grand Prairie as an organization. And that way we value our employees and they in turn demonstrate that value to the citizens. The first one is the Shared Leadership Program. Just as I shared with you, Captain Smith, we want to avoid that same type of fate.
Right.
And so getting the input from our various work groups and that diverse viewpoint is so valuable. And then next we have Friendship Day, where we are compensating city employees a half a work day, so that they can go out into the city of Grand Prairie and do community service.
Wow.
I think that's so huge for our citizens to see us serve on their behalf.
Yes.
And then for our employees to get to know their diverse communities.
Yes.
Right.
So it's a twofold thing, and it is a highway that definitely goes both ways. Next, we have the employee listening sessions and training. We're also just working out with pamphlets and information that we can hand out to the employees, as well as be available to them to make sure that we're sensitive as an organization to our employees' needs. And then we have the external programs, which I'm really excited about. Our mayor, who you just heard from,
Right.
he's very passionate and he is an advocate for our law enforcement. And with reason to be, we have recruits that pay for the meals of families that couldn't afford it, guys who have helped find citizens places to stay. We just really have a genuine great group of officers.
Yes.
That is really uncanny in their story. I always say good people are the most underrepresented people in the media today. We like to see car crashes more than the skill of the driver. And so hopefully we can turn that around. So the Mayor's Ride Out program allows people to see the successes, the challenges, and the relationships our officers make in real time.
Right.
It's not in slow motion. It's not a rewind. It's not on pause. So I think that builds transparency, which builds trust. Next is Wisdom Wednesday. It is one of my favorites, because we're taking the wisdom of our Grand Prairie residents, 50 years and above, memorializing their history, their story, and we get to see the progress that we made, as well as calculate the steps that we need to go further. I remember sitting down with Dr. Vern Alexander, which he's going to be one of our guests, and just listening to him. And as you know, you guys have met Dr. Vern Alexander.
Yes, he's incredible.
He's incredible.
Amazing guy.
Amazing guy. When you listen to
He is such a historian.
such a historian.
Yes, he is.
Even his library is impressive.
Yes, it is.
And so when you watch this and listen to him, I just thought to myself, couldn't others benefit from wisdom of people such as him, who have been here for a while, who live life, and been through life without having their eyes closed?
Yes.
So they take notice of the things. So Wisdom Wednesday, we're really excited about that. And then also, because we want to make sure that we reach the young, the old, our employees, community leaders, and even the disenfranchised.
Right.
So we have Unified Grand Prairie. If you notice in today's culture, these young people are active. They are outspoken. And I think now we can take advantage of that and show them how to partner with the city. And in doing that, we have a 3-step program that has a roundtable discussion, which allows us to discuss with them, hear their concerns, address any misconceptions they may have. And then also, the next step is then to have them actually go to the city courthouse, go to the city hall, go see the councilman chambers, learn how to contact your city council member.
Yes.
So what you may initially think may be a protest, may be a phone call.
Yes.
And you may even get the response that you want. And then next, we're going to the police station to do a mock traffic stop where they kind of see it from the eyes of the police officer, see the memorial wall where they see the sacrifices made, and like your great friend, AJ Castaneda and my friend.
Absolutely.
And see the diverse, and even we had diversity in men who were willing to make the sacrifice for the city, which says a lot. And see that memorial wall, and then last but not least, eat pizza with a police officer and just get to know them as moms and dads, brothers and sisters, and people who go fishing. And,
yes.
Human beings.
Yes.
Human beings,
Right? Just all across, right? Just doing great things. You know, I want to throw in, you were talking about some of the sacrifices the officers make, some of the different things that happen in real time. Just about a week ago, I want to give a shout out to Officer McDonald, Officer Andrew McDonald, who called me, messaged me, and said, "Hey, we got a call. A family, their AC's not working. Do we have a window unit that we can find?" And we put it out on Grand Prairie, Texas Talk. If somebody had one, donate or chip in money for it.
Right.
Within 2 hours of that message, that family had an AC unit in their window. So somebody came and donated it, and then the other family came and picked it up. So now the police officers are called to be HVAC specialists. Right? So they're solving problems that not necessarily go along with what they signed up for. So just kudos to the PD and for the family that reached out, for the family that donated. It's neighbors helping neighbors at the end of the day.
Yes.
So
and I think just as your story exemplified of our police department, healthy people make healthy police officers. And then, you know, if you take a cup of water and you shake it, and people say, well, why did water fall? Because you shook it. No, that's because that's what was in it.
Right.
And when you hear stories like that, that is what is in our police department.
Yes.
That is what is in our community.
Our community.
And working together, and that is the benefit of inclusion. Inclusion allows us to take all our best skills, all our best experiences, and really put them to work to, once again, to show love to one another and to accomplish so many things in the city.
And it also comes from leadership.
Yes.
It comes from leadership, and kudos to our mayor and our city council, because that's something that they put into our community and they're enforcing from the top down. So when you have it from the top down, it's going to spread. I mean, it's nothing else but goodness is going to come out of that, because they're managing from their hearts.
Yes.
And anytime that you're doing that, you're going to see change. People are going to want to get involved. If it wasn't for the things that Malcolm does, getting that information, that officer having the confidence in Malcolm to put the information out, people having the confidence in Malcolm and that officer that they're actually going to do what was requested, it all comes about who they trust and people knowing that that person can be relied on and they have the integrity to do what they say that they're going to do. And it makes a difference for people in our community. It really does.
VanDella, I couldn't have said it better. You know, you show me the pastor of a church, and then you see its members.
Yes.
And I think you so exemplify that in what you're saying, but that is so true.
Yes. Thank you, Malcolm.
Hey, thank you. You know, there's a lot of good going on in our community.
There really is.
And sometimes we only see the bad, right? It depends what you're looking for.
Yes, you
right?
can always find bad. And it's just like the news, you can always find bad. But when you start focusing on the good, people see the good, people want to do better,
Right.
or find ways to do better.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, Gerald, is there anything that we might have skipped over that you would like to share?
I don't think so.
Well, before we do that,
Yes.
let's talk about our sponsor again.
Hey, if you're watching, this show is being recorded by thecampmedia.com. And if you're looking to record an event, a business promotion of any sort, you're going to want to contact thecampmedia.com.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
I hope I did that good. That's my promotional voice.
Yes, it is.
I love it.
Great job,
Yes,
Malcolm.
great
And
job,
Malcolm
Malcolm.
can actually sing. If you guys, Malcolm is a man of many
What?
talents.
Oh, no, he got to.
Yes,
You
Malcolm.
may have to give us a few bars.
No, I'm just kidding. All right. But yeah, I just think, I know a lot of times we ask you questions that apply to your line of business and what you do, but sometimes there are things out there that people want to share, and so just want to give you that opportunity.
Well, absolutely. I think the citizens of Grand Prairie should be encouraged. I often share with people, I say GP stands for Grand Prairie, but it stands for God's place and God's people. And when we act in that manner, it is just a great place to live.
Love it.
We are endorsed by leadership to have that inclusion mindset.
Yes.
And so that's huge. There are a lot of other cities that may not have the same freeway that we have, but we definitely are on so many levels knitted together. And so therefore our kids, our people do not fall through the cracks. And so I'm really excited about where we're moving as a city. And I just really look forward to working with all the employees and the citizens so that we can continue to improve and raise the value of Grand Prairie. This absolutely will be the place for everyone to work, live, and play.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Mr. Hodges, if someone wants to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Absolutely. They can give me a call. I'm working out of the city manager's office at 972-237-7549, or my email address, ghodges@gptx.org.
Can you repeat that, please?
ghodges@gptx.org. GHODGES.
Yes, ES.
Yes. At gptx.org.
Well, thank you so much. So, Malcolm, what upcoming events do we have?
So I'm sure there are many out there, but today I spoke to Haley Matson, formerly Copeland.
Yes, congratulations.
Congratulations on your wedding. So they're doing a program called Passport to GP. And I'm going to read it out. So this is for everyone in Grand Prairie and surrounding areas. It's a new scavenger hunt to play with family and friends with the chance to win up to $1,000.
Wow.
You heard that right.
$1,000.
So the game starts September 10th and goes through the 14th. It'll be all over GP and online. Learn about the Grand Prairie business community in a fun, socially distant way. Go to www.passport2gp.com. Next, this was a little far out, but this is going to be a Veterans Day event. It's a charity event to honor and celebrate our veterans and to raise money for homeless veterans here in North Texas.
Yes.
It's an organization based out of Grand Prairie called America Helping Veterans, and it's going to be on Friday, November 6th at the Firehouse Gastro Park from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. And VanDella, guess who's going to be the MC?
I'm excited about it.
I want autographs.
VanDella, we have been invited to be the MCs for this event.
This is so
homeless
incredible.
veterans.
This is so incredible. When you asked me about that, I was like, I would be honored to be a part of that program. Yes, it's going to be such an incredible program to raise money for such a worthy cause, because our veterans are the people that help for our liberties. And when you're talking about a homeless veteran, they should not be forgotten. We should do everything that we can to help support our veterans.
Right, absolutely. And
I'm excited
That's
about
a
it.
great cause.
it truly is an honor, and we look forward to being part of that. It's going to be November the 6th at Firehouse Gastro Park
Yes.
from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Yes. Mark your calendars. The Malcom and VanDella show will be hosting.
And you know, guys, before we go, I just want to thank thecampmedia.com, thecampmedia.com. But no,
Yes.
in all seriousness, this has been a great opportunity to work with Pat and his team, and we really look forward to working closer with him in the future.
Yes. You are listening to the Malcom and VanDella show. Until next time, have a great Grand Prairie Day.
Make it happen.